Watches and Wonders is right around the corner, and that means everyone's getting excited about what the watch brands are going to be releasing this year. There's a lot of rumors, predictions that are going around on Instagram, YouTube, all social medias. And so I thought I would talk about a couple of them that I actually really like, and maybe some of the more controversial ones. I'm going to pull this from two sources. There'll be a link in the description of this video to both the articles for the ones for where I'm sort of referencing these. These are a lot of the predictions that are kind of going around are on these articles. So I encourage you to check out those articles. If you want to go to the article that we write for this video on lifeandthewrist.com, there'll be links to these articles as well. So I'm going to discuss a couple of brands, some of the main predictions that are coming up, and tell you what I think about each of them. So without further ado, let's get into it. So I think one of the things that I'll get out right now is it was really funny that there was a lot of hype around the System 51 Swatch that was being teased by Swatch, which there were a lot of predictions about what this thing would actually look like, and this one is mission to the moon, and there were a lot of predictions about what the dial would look like. There were some really interesting renderings of what people thought about it, but really what it ended up being was a black dial with a sort of like the color of the moon as the chronograph hand. So nothing too crazy, but it is another release and another piece of the Swatch System 51s that people are going crazy about. But I am here to talk about the Watches and Wonders 2023 predictions that a lot of people are making. It's unfortunate I'm not going to be able to attend, but I'm going to be watching with bated breath to see what people do release. The first article I'm going to be referencing is Fratello watches, and one of the predictions that they had was a Tudor Pelagos 39 with a blue dial, blue bezel. So 39, a lot of people have wanted this 39 millimeter size for the Pelagos. It's like literally every collector that you talk to wants this size for the watch. I think it's more wearable for most people. 39 40 millimeters, 39 or 40 millimeters is kind of what they really like, or what most people say is the most wearable size. And so Fratello was saying that they're probably going to release this 39 millimeter Pelagos with this blue dial. They did say that in the article, they kind of said maybe it'll be a little bit of a different tone of the blue, but we'll have to see. I do think changing the size of watches to accommodate people's interests and what they are really looking for is a common thing for watch brands to do. Fratello also predicted a Rolex Milgauss 126400 GV, which was the original sort of Air King was debuted at Basel World 2016. They think this new one will have the more advanced movement in it. So we'll have to see what ends up happening with that. They also predicted and they say that this is more wishful thinking than anything, but they are predicting a Zenith Chronomaster El Primero Rainbow Flyback chronograph. So I'll just read this. This is more wishful thinking than it is predicting an upcoming watch release. Still, it would be really cool if Zenith would bring back the El Primero Rainbow Flyback. It was originally released in 1997. It's a really cool chronograph. I'll put up pictures so you can see it. But it is something that they would like to see Zenith do. It'll be interesting to see what they release. I don't know if this one's really again, it's wishful thinking, but it'll be interesting to see if they do it. A modern rendition of it would be kind of nice to see, kind of, bring it into sort of this century. If you look at the older versions, it's maybe not in line with sort of the design aesthetic with a lot of the pieces that are being released right now. This is my absolute favorite prediction, and I actually think this one probably will happen from Vacheron Constantin. So last year, Vacheron Constantin released the Historique 222 in complete gold. This is a really popular reference from the past that they created in 1977. Many collectors desire this. The reference 222, vintage watch collectors absolutely love it. They released a all gold version of this, and the prediction that Fratello Watches has is they'll be releasing this in steel and in steel and gold two-tone. I think the steel version of this piece is going to be one of the most desired pieces ever. The gold, you have to be a certain person to wear it. The steel is a little bit more understated. So if this does come out, I think it's going to be absolutely phenomenal, and people are absolutely going to love it. Hands down, I think one of the best predictions that I've seen, and I think one of the more likely ones to happen. All right, most of the predictions that you're probably going to see online are going to have to do with Rolex. I think this is something that most collectors do, is predict what Rolex is going to end up releasing. This year's pretty special. They're celebrating the 70th anniversary of the Rolex Submariner, so I think it makes sense for them to do something along the lines of release something to celebrate the 70th anniversaries of one of the most desired sports watches, the Rolex Submariner, that was released in 1953. If you think back to what they did for the 50th anniversary, which was the Kermit, the 16610 LV, it probably makes sense that they're going to do something along with colors. And so the prediction, I should say, I'm on Monochrome's article now. The prediction that Monochrome has is that they're going to release a titanium Rolex Submariner with the blue color scheme. So they have released a blue color scheme Rolex Submariner in the past. For me, I absolutely loved this one. I think it was in white gold. They're predicting a titanium version of this watch with this blue color scheme. I think it's a decent prediction. I think Rolex is using more titanium. A lot of watch outlets and collectors are saying that, I think Rolex might be doing more with titanium. So I think it's a good prediction to say maybe a titanium Submariner. I think there also is a pretty nice possibility that they'll do this blue color scheme, because it's something that hasn't really been done in recent times as much. So yeah, I think it's a good prediction, and I think everyone's looking forward to seeing what they do for the celebration of the 70th anniversary of the Rolex Submariner. It is also the 60th anniversary of the Rolex Daytona, and so there's obviously predictions flying about what they're going to do for the Daytona. There's some people that are saying that there might be a little bit of a revamping of the actual design of the Daytona. It hasn't really changed over the last 20 odd years, and so there may be some design changes that happen to the Daytona. Another piece of this, and I'll kind of quote Monochrome's predictions, but they're expecting a full green white gold Daytona, reference 116509 LV, for the 60th anniversary. This would be a pretty crazy watch if they did do this. So they're predicting a green dial, green bezel insert Rolex Daytona for the 60th anniversary, for the tradition of celebrating the 60th anniversary. We'll have to see if it happens. It's pretty crazy looking. Would be interesting to see if it does happen. But they have used green, right? I think it's being called the John Mayer Daytona has a green dial, and so very well there definitely is a possibility that there might be something that does happen to this watch. Monochrome also mentions the sort of complete update to the Daytona, reference 126520, so could possibly happen. I think they would probably do this, like they would, if they celebrated the 60th anniversary, I'm pretty sure they would go with a design change as well, but we'll have to see what they end up doing. There are some other predictions that they had. It's the 70th anniversary of the Explorer, and so they are predicting a fully gold Rolex Explorer 36 millimeters for the 60th anniversary of that model. It's interesting when I look at it. It doesn't grab me as much as maybe sort of like the Blue Submariner does. I don't know why. Just doesn't sort of bring me in too much. For some people, this would be a great model. Maybe it's a black dial or something like that. I'm not really sure. It could also be this week. I feel like your tastes change basically every single week. So we'll have to see about this. But another prediction they had related to the Explorer is a polar white dial Rolex Explorer in 36 millimeters, which is something I think many people are desiring. Kind of similar to the Rolex Explorer 2 that has that polar dial. We'll have to see. We'll have to see what ends up happening. They also had that prediction that I mentioned that Fratello had, which was a new Milgauss update, which could possibly happen. And I think that was sort of all I wanted to chat through. They have some other ones about the Tudor bracelet that might come back. We'll have to see. But yeah, big shout out to Monochrome and Fratello for the predictions, just aggregating them. I'll put a link in the description of this video so you can check them out. But I'd love to hear your thoughts on which of these predictions you like the most, which of the predictions you like the least. Also, let me know what your predictions are for Watches and Wonders. I know I've covered maybe some of the mainstream brands that, you know, it'll be interesting to see what some of the independents do. So let me know in the comments what you're looking forward to, what you're predicting for Watches and Wonders. You can check out our article as well. We'll kind of go over this stuff and have links to the original articles as well. If you are new to Live from the Wrist, be sure to subscribe to the channel and share this with a friend who might be interested in watches. If you wouldn't mind liking this video, it really does help me out. With that said, guys, thank you so much for watching this video, and until next time.